First alert update, a Green Bay man is charged in a deadly Manitowoc County crash. 38-year-old Philip Slezewski is accused of causing that Christmas Day crash that killed his wife and his mother and injured two others. Manitowoc County deputies say Slezewski was driving his 2004 Chevy Suburban on I-43 when he hit a 2016 Chevy Tahoe heading the same direction. Both vehicles lost control and crashed. Officials say 71-year-old Clarine Slezewski and 38-year-old Heather Arcado Slezewski in that Suburban died as a result of their injuries. Two people in the other vehicle survived with minor injuries. Deputies say Slezewski told them that he was trying to pass another vehicle when he lost control, but officials say he was driving with a suspended license. And investigators also found a bag containing white pills and a white powdery substance, as well as a glass marijuana pipe. Slezewski is scheduled to appear in court on Monday. He's being held on a $300,000 cash bond.